And welcome back to Roots and Routes podcast. Bear with us while we get the technology going. If you are in the chat, if you are streaming this from somewhere, make sure you guys do us a favor.
Bear with us while
Share
we get
this
the
with
technology going. If you are
Should I
somebody.
put that on mute?
Yeah, you're gonna need to because I don't like hearing myself talk.
Okay.
Um, Share this with somebody that is looking to move abroad, needs to hear from some people about what this experience is like, what life actually looks like. If you guys do not know us, we are Roots and Routes Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, as well as Apple Music if you like listening to us. But for our people that are visual, you can see us where you are seeing now or go to YouTube, Roots and Routes Podcast. There you will find myself. I am RJ. I have on tonight Miss Tisha as well as Miss Chalet. Our brother Akeem will be joining us a little bit later, but what we like to do is realistically prepare our audience, prepare the community that we talk to with realistic things that they can use on their move abroad process. I say somebody that's looking to move abroad as an American, they start with an empty book bag. And along the way, they're supposed to put things in that book bag that they use to go through the journey. That journey may look very different depending on who you are and what you have going on. But we begin our conversations tonight because one of the biggest things that people like to Google when they're going into their move abroad search is what are the top expat destinations? And I think that is definitely a good spot to talk about because I know a lot of people are there and looking for Google, Chat GPT, whoever it is that you ask for your info, on how to go about getting guided on where to go. My biggest thing when I think about us and our community, when you talk about the top expat destinations, I think Black people always want to know who all gonna be there, and
Yeah.
that's realistic. So talk to me. What are your thought processes and the scenario that's going on with the googling the top expat destinations? What does it actually boil down to?
I think it boils down to truly realizing like what you actually want and your why of leaving. Because what I find is a lot of people, when they tell me their stories of their prior places they visited or lived in, they're telling me of stories like, oh, it was so expensive, but then they went to Costa Rica. That don't even make sense. They'll tell me, oh, I couldn't, I didn't find a good black community, but then they moved to Spain. It's like you guys have to really do your research because it's not, it's a big thing, right? Yeah, you can go back home. You don't want to make that type of mistake when you're doing something that can really elevate your life and make things better. So I think the top things you really need to figure out is your budget, what stuff costs there. If you're going to stay long term, you need to know the requirements for those visas because I think what happens is you get a lot of viral content of like, hey, come here. And we talked about it before, the $300 rent. Come here. And
Hmm.
then they're not telling you guys the actual truth, right? And so me doing visas, I'm already studying these places. So of course, we see it too. We like, wait a minute. Let me look at Thailand for a second. Or let me look at these other places. But then when I go down that rabbit hole of like, okay, if I want to stay long term, what happens? What do I have to provide to stay long term? And there's so many things I'm seeing now, like the over policeness in Thailand, the cost of that visa. They clickbait you and say, oh, the visa's for 5 years, but you only get 6 months each year. So what are you gonna do when you go there? Like you have to leave, you stay for six and you leave, but you got a 5 year visa. So they bait you in with the 5 year visa, and then you have to also look at how much money you have to provide for that visa. So that's why you hear us say all the time, like, not that we're trying to get everybody to come to Colombia, but it's one of the easiest visas out there to get. And you actually can stay the full term. So those are some of the things I think people should really, really look in: the budget, schooling for their kids, the
Yeah,
community, having somebody on the ground. A lot of people are just moving and like, I'm gonna meet somebody when I get there. And that's
exactly.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
The
So
amount of people that come like really unprepared with community, with things that come with community, right? Like
we talked about the last time and probably the time before that about not having to start from square one. Like if we've
Yeah.
been here, done that, all three of us for sure. We are connectors. We help people with things. We provide services and information and stuff, but it just comes from having community. You'll know somebody, meet somebody who's been through the same things that you're looking, to get into, or, things that you're searching for, problems to avoid, you know what I mean? What to
Mhm.
do if this happens, all types of things. It's so important for different reasons, for emergencies, for just knowing like familiar things. Like, we think about food. Sometimes we're looking for spices. Sometimes it's, hair care products or services. Sometimes it's,
Mhm.
just emergency. Some things
Doctor
you don't even
visits. Where to go for the
Mhm.
exactly
doctor?
emergency
Yeah.
medical. Exactly. Right, exactly. And so especially depending on the place that
Doctors is
you
outrageous
choose
because
to go
people
to. Yeah, like there might be certain things that we're looking for and we're used to them back home. And then people who've been like who are more seasoned, they found these things, right? Or
Hmm.
they encountered these issues. And so, yeah, it's just important to connect with people.
Yes.
Hmm.
when I think about, and I had this like epiphany last night about the entire like thought process with the top expat destinations, because a person puts that in on the other end of the computer and they say, okay, give me either the top expat destinations, or one of my favorite is top black expat destinations. So where is it okay for all black people to go? And every individual black person, I think the community also knows that black people are not monoliths. So when you actually look at a scenario of um, what is good for American expat destinations, it's going to give you a numbers
Yeah.
thing, but it really gives you nothing besides numbers, and that's it. Just because
Hmm.
a lot of people have left and went there doesn't mean that they've stayed. It
Correct.
doesn't mean that they've actually built community on ground where those numbers are, yes, this is a number one place, but how many people came and left in 6 months? Or all you can do here is this kind of life, yet that is not what is advertised. And people will say, well, I'm going here because these are the top three places. And I tell people, no, the top three places are not the top three places. The top three places are the top three places. It's all about the community. It's all about connecting with people more. It's all about knowing people more. Because maybe it is based off of that. What about you? That is a unique thing that I don't think people are realizing that they need to look at versus what Google or AI kind of spit back out to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's another topic too, because I think too, a lot of the people that are doing this like viral content, they're not stationary. They're like hopping from country to country. And living in a place is total different than visiting
Yeah.
a place. Setting up
Agreed.
your life in a place is totally different than vacationing in a place. And so I even found that difficult when moving abroad, because I was like, oh, I want to know all the expat groups. I want to know all the Facebook groups, the WhatsApp groups. I don't even give those groups to my clients anymore because they're so freaking negative. They are
Mm,
so there. It's all the negative, get them the likes, the clicks, the follows. That's one aspect of it. Two, there's a lot of people that are just passing through. So their experience is going to be completely different from me, from RJ, from Michelle A. We actually live in these places. So be careful who you're getting your information from. That is
yeah.
a huge fucking tip. Okay.
Hmm.
I always got to hit the censor when they come to editing these things. Like, is
I'm
this explicit
sorry.
content? Yes. Yes.
Y'all
Nah,
know
Put the
nah,
how
keep
you
it
stress on
real.
know.
It's just always funny because you be like, nah, it's all good. Nah, it's definitely though something to be real candid about though when it comes down to it, because people need to be real. What they're getting pushed is, like you said, the viral content, and the viral content
Mhm.
paints a very unique picture of what life abroad looks like. It does it
Mhm.
in a way where it's easily consumable,
Mhm.
but it doesn't stay with you. It's not something that once you get there, you can be like, well, let me just follow these viral videos and I'm going to automatically have a good time. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people, when just considering the entire thought process of how to narrow down my expat destination, I tell people it's a more internal thing than what's already on the internet. You can use that
Mm-hmm.
as a base, but where is a good place for my family?
Correct.
Not what is the top expat destination. And then so many, when it comes to us, consider I had a number of people that are black and are starting to tell me that they live in other places around the world and are telling me their experiences that they're having as a African American in other places. And my first question is, well, like, I haven't gone everywhere, but I also don't have to go everywhere. So looking at where you're going is also important. So looking at where you're going is also important to that also, because like, well, you can't look for. I don't know where the black experience is. Well, you went to Poland, or some guy messaged me and he was like, "Well, I'm going to Albania," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know what the black experience is going to be like in those places." And a lot of people need to start looking at that top expat destinations thing in a more nuanced way compared to what it is that we're thinking about it all. My bad. Did you guys hear me? All right.
Yeah, I didn't hear your question. No, you said the top question, and then I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, you was going in and out, but I think
Yeah,
we got the gist of it.
yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, that is a true topic. Like I think too, people come here and say, "Oh my God, I don't see any black people in Santa Marta." But if you hanging with me, you
All the
see
black people.
plenty all day long. You know, so
Yeah.
that matters. Like your support system on the ground matters. We built a community here, but again, we're not just hanging out because a lot of us are mature. We want different
Mhm.
things in life. We're building here. So if you come in too, let's segue to that. Please, please stop moving abroad, being and doing the same exact things you did in the United States. Please, I'm begging you. That and if you come in here to Santa Marta, that is the quickest way for you to see me disappear. Okay. I don't
Like the
have
same
time.
outside activities,
The
right?
same outside activity. I don't have time for foolishness. I have people that be like, "Oh, I'm gonna send you my whereabouts, like my ping." I'm like, "Baby, I'm not the one. I go to bed at 8:30. Find somebody else. Find
And
somebody
that is
else."
absolutely true. I literally just came from Santa Marta staying with
Yes.
Tisha. She was in the bed. Okay.
Do
Tisha,
not do
no,
me.
we're not hanging out. Listen.
We going
No,
to
but that's a real
dinners.
thing. Now, but
Yeah.
what I love, so just to give a little bit of my experience, my past experience, like living in different places, like in Egypt, for example, in Cairo, I loved it. I had girlfriends, like my friend group there. We would have dinner parties. We'll cook together. Like everybody brings something. We'll like try out different cocktails. Like we would have stuff like everybody come and make a different dessert, or
Uh-huh.
make a different drink or something like that. Like we had good, wholesome in the house fun.
Yes.
Listening to music, like it's very fun. It feels like outside fun, but definitely indoors. And so I love that. That's my favorite thing. You already know.
Yeah.
Just get us some food, something to drink,
You know
and
how we
some
get down.
music. I'm telling
Yes.
you.
So if y'all don't know, Michelle just left from here. I think
Mhm.
she flew one. Many of you guys might not know I have a restaurant here in Santa Marta, a children's park. We do a host of different things. And Michelle
Amazing
is the
businesses.
Black Martha Stewart. I'm gonna keep saying it until she takes that hashtag.
Right.
But she's doing different workshops at our business for Expat Night. If you guys don't know, we host Expat Night at the end of every month for all the expats in the area, and we had an amazing turnout. We did a sip and paint for Amor Amistad because again, Santa Columbia celebrates Valentine's Day in September. So she was here, she did my hair, of course, and we hung out and just poured into each other. And that is the funness. Like, okay, fly down here and do this. Like let's do this together.
Exactly. Like, just imagine that. Like, I love that. That was so cool. I've been reflecting on that. Obviously, the whole time we've known each other, and I'm always coming out there. We're always doing something. We're always
Elevating
pouring
each
into
other.
each other. Oh my God,
Yes.
that's my favorite part. And so
Yes.
I'm like, you feel like family. You know, like your family feels like my family.
Yes.
It's constant connections, like constant, like we're always around people where we're on the same wavelength. You know what I mean?
Period.
It's like you can seek people who've been seeking it and they come around us and they're on the
Hmm.
same thing. Like, man, I at home I can't talk like this. You know, I don't have people to talk about stuff like this with. And
Hmm.
so, just that, like we literally just met just a few years ago. And
Yeah.
it's like we're locked in like family for real.
Locked
And
in.
I can say, like, I do have people like that I've met around the country, I mean, around the world, in different places that I've lived. I have these experiences where I'm building like strong connections, and like still to this day we talk. And and that family and friendship, because let me say, sometimes people will run into issues like when we all have different personality types, different things going on in our lives, right? So some
Hmm.
people, they need the same people to talk to every single day. I'm not
Hmm.
one of them people. Okay.
Yeah.
So some of my closest friends, we don't talk every day, every week,
Period.
even every month. You know what I mean? And for me, it feels exciting to like, let's catch up to like what's
Yeah.
really been going on, right? And
Yes.
so that it's just proof, you know what I mean? Just me having some of my closest friends around the world. We're not all in the same place, but that doesn't mean it's any love lost. That
Correct.
it opens us up to accepting, because sometimes, when you have your best friend and or your best friends, your friend group, and you be like, no new friends. So you
Yeah.
don't even open yourself up to the possibility of gaining new best friends.
That's true. That is so true. Oh, we got RJ back. Oh, is he gone again?
Oh, he there. I see him.
But yes, guys, that's one of the pluses of living abroad if you're in the right intention, right? Like Michelle A met a lot of new people that were here because she hadn't been here in a while. So we've had a lot of more people move here. We just sat in a cafe for like 3 hours. Like, and
Yep.
we're not gossiping. We're not talking about TV. We're not talking about drama. We're talking about business, how to
Yeah.
collab. Like I think you left with different contracts to do different
Yep.
things. Like so, it's refreshing, right? Because you, I think we talked about this on the last video. You end up in the same country or same state with the same people doing the same stuff over and over again, even if you don't want to do it, right? And
Right.
so it's so refreshing when you move abroad when you can like be who you are and like really do the things that make you better and everyone around you better. And if you are doing that, you're going to attract the right people anyway. Right? So
Exactly.
even the young lady who was sitting with us, I did not, she wasn't my client initially. She gravitated in my building ironically, which
Which
is
is
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
like I'm
definitely
like,
thought
who
that
is
you
you in
knew
my
her from
building and
there.
I don't know
Yeah.
you? and
I
then
love it.
and then for us to just click, and then her son is so amazing. So it's you end up meeting some dope people when you start doing that work on yourself and then you make this jump.
Yeah.
It's life changing.
Yeah. And also, just to mention Courtney, like she came with her son, with a young child. Her son is in school,
Yes,
thriving, right?
thriving.
And I'm like, even here that's in Santa Marta.
Yeah.
Now, even here in Medellin, the expat community is even bigger. And so
Hmm.
it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of people, but there are still people who didn't make that step to find community and to make those kind of connections to where they're still like scrambling out, what do I do? But then you get
Hmm.
people who are like, there's a lady, Kelly, who was on the relocation tour, right?
Hmm.
And so she came out to scout, and then she moved here with her children, right?
Hmm.
I took them all on a fruit market tour, and they really
Uh-huh.
enjoyed it, her and her children, and so and I just saw that she has her children in school now and they're
Yeah.
loving it. It's like a lot of people, though, some people get stuck, you know what I mean? Not
Mhm.
knowing the information, not knowing to talk to people and who to talk to and the routes and stuff. So they take so long figuring these things out. Your children need to be socializing. Like it's
Yes.
not just a move for you. If you're moving with your family, you better find something
Immediately.
for them all to do. Like you better
Yes.
find, community for your children as well. That's so important. So what I also like to do, like part of my contribution, like I throw events, I do arts and crafts is my thing. So
Mm-hmm.
well, fun, cultural, artistic things is my thing. So, I also like to create these types of environments for people and their children because, like,
Mm-hmm.
and this is me, I guess, as a former school teacher, is like, I enjoy working with children too, but I also understand the importance of having them adapt and have a
Yes.
beautiful experience as well.
Yes, I have met a psychologist that were actually catering to expat kids that are moved abroad and merging them into the culture, which is so important if your child is having a problem. Because, again, we get boxed in,
Yeah.
completely boxed into conveniences in America, right? And
Yeah.
so our generation has felt that century where it was outside, we cooked everything naturally, we hung out with family and cousins, we felt that, right? But our
Hmm.
kids have not. They are literally a digital generation of
Right.
games, of YouTube, of the internet and
Virtual
social media,
reality,
virtual
all of these
reality,
things.
right? So the attack is
Mhm.
on our children now. And so to pick them up and move them abroad, sometimes they cannot emerge properly, right? Because they're like, wait a minute, what? People outside? The kids
Yeah.
scared to be outside now. And I
Right.
truly understand that because my son did not go outside without me in Atlanta. So, and then but to come here, he saw freedom. He's like, what?
Hmm.
I can go to the store, I can go to the
Right.
beach by myself. Yes, because I'm not worrying about anybody kidnapping you here. But if we're in
Exactly.
Atlanta, you are holding my hand 16,
Right.
17, 18. I do not care. Okay.
Right.
So it's a different type of environment. So we got to also work on that. Like some people just pick their kids up and be like, you're going to have a good time because I'm having a good time. No,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And then also, I think you should be working on that prior to them coming, right? Detoxing
Mhm.
them from the video games. Because if you come to Santa Marta, kids here don't have that stuff. They don't
Yeah.
have the iPads. They don't have the virtual reality. They don't have the gaming system. And so
They're
that's
outside on these courts playing soccer,
soccer,
playing,
basketball, doing stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I
So
mean, like, imagine that's giving us the opportunity because Colombia, like specifically, since we're in Colombia, we can speak to this and seeing like the family, like the environment for families, they're very family oriented. It's always people gatherings, always families gathering, especially on Sundays and on
Right.
holidays and just the normal throughout the week on the weekends especially. And you, like you said, you can see that like people are playing with their 20 cousins, and you know what I mean,
mhm.
like imagine we don't, because that's the thing, is like especially going to into the digital age where I remember, I feel like we are, part of the last piece of that generation, of the
The
generation to
perfect.
experience playing outside. Like I know what it's like to play outside without your face in the phone the whole time. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
so it's important to, if we experience like, the nostalgia and all this stuff of, oh, back in the days when we had this and it, you have an opportunity. You are privileged if you actually come abroad in different cultures who still embrace those things, and they
Well,
have not fully gone into the digital age where everything is on the phone. If they still have those things, it's so important, especially to your children, to give them
yes.
the experience because we know what it meant to us.
And we know what it meant to us.
Can y'all hear
Somebody
me?
wrote, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm just like, I want to be a part of this conversation.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, 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 no. The only thing I saw this the other day, and the reason why somebody was like, oh well, when you get to 18, parents are like, oh, you got to get out of college. I mean, get out the house and move on and everything. And that is a very hyper individualized raising. Like getting, you got to 18 is no time.
No
Yeah.
And
time.
what happens is we get abroad and we see things that seem foreign to us. Well, all these people live together. Well, the mom,
Hmm.
it's 10 people that live in that house, and it might even be a big house with all enough people, but the thought process is really difficult. But it stems from what you guys were just talking about, how we grew up and doing certain things, eating certain foods that weren't just, let's just run everybody to McDonald's and go get a bunch of nuggets. Those things, we know them, so it's buried deep inside of us. But I feel
Mhm.
like living in America, you just got to keep your head down and keep focused on what you have to do, and you don't get the ability to really like feel the
Live.
humanness and living with each other and communing with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Another a trick by the government to push everybody out, because now you've taken one household and now you have four
Multiple
people you're
rents.
taxing. You have four people who are now working. You have four people who's in debt, because you got to remember they don't make money if we pay our bills. They
Yeah.
make money when we don't pay. They
Yeah.
make money off of debt. And so it's so many tricks that we fail from the government, and that'll be a whole nother, I
Right.
love
That's
these
a whole
topics.
nother conversation because boy,
I
we can
love
go
these
in on
topics.
that.
Okay, give me the
With
mic.
it,
But
Uncle
no,
Tim. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can really go in on these things, you know what I mean? Like just from our lived experience and from the knowledge. We talked about this, even over the weekend and stuff, just knowing just certain things, certain tricks over the past, and we cannot keep falling for it. But I want to say, like, just being proud of us for those of us being like pioneers in the movement of making a wholesome, like a fulfilling life abroad, right? Because
yes,
it takes bravery. It does take, a lot of people are fearful of the unknown. And
yes,
so I do have to like, I think I'll be a little scary in some situations, not many, but
hmm
I'm like, I feel proud that I am able and I'm able to do it myself for my own life. But I feel like just I'm a very free flowy, curious, adventurous person. So I knew, I don't think anybody in my life is really surprised about, me living abroad for this long or anything in the places that I've been. But I've also been able to help usher other people into the experience. I'm like, wherever I am, my friends, family have a couch to lay on. I give them my
yes,
bedroom. I've given my friends my bedroom, even. You know what I mean? If you come visit me, especially coming way overseas, I have a friend of mine, one of my close girlfriends that I was talking about. She lives in Atlanta, and
hmm
we actually worked in the salon together. And every place that I've been, she comes to visit me. Like I love it. She
hmm
came all the way to Ethiopia. We went to Dubai together, and she comes here to Colombia. We're a lot closer, and so she's been here a few times. I just love it, and it takes sometimes some knowing somebody to make that step, and so
yes.
it's like we're bridges as well. So I'd be telling people, you better use me while you
You
can.
better use me while you can. Yes, because that door will
Mhm.
close soon.
I'm
Boy, I've
telling
had
you.
so many people stay with me. Somebody wrote in the chat the top 5 things. I don't know if we want to segue to that just yet.
No, talk to
Okay.
me.
Somebody wrote in the chat the top 5 secrets you wish someone told you before you moved.
Oh,
That's a good one.
top five.
I'll say one for me was that girl, like not like a secret, but like, damn, life is a lot to me, life is a lot easier. And
Mm,
I wish I would have known that, because again, I was just like everybody else, fearful, thinking, what might happen. And America's the great, right? I
yeah.
wish somebody had told me that. Like, no, girl, America's this and the whole
Yeah.
world is this. And
I'm
what we
telling
do in
you.
America is not always right 80% of the time. And
80, at least 80.
and 80% of the time. And I wish I would have known. I wish I had, like you said, somebody that a pioneer before me to be like, girl, get over here. Come
Mhm.
experience life. Like we always heard of the other people saying, no, I'm not going to college. I'm going to travel for a year. But it
Yeah.
always seems so far-fetched,
You're
right?
like,
Because
why? Like,
why are you doing that?
how?
And how you can do
That's what
that?
How?
I wanted to
Why?
do. Just
How you
FYI, I didn't want to go to college right away. That was but of course, not
Who
the
we
gonna
got
fact
to
pay
get
having
for
a
it?
out.
family that
We
has
got
the
bills to
economics for
pay.
me to do that.
We
Yeah.
got bills to pay. We got car note. We got car insurance. Mom said you got to get out, or you paying money for the rent. Like it's
Right.
so much, right? And so we never had that opportunity, and we only saw
Mhm.
them doing it, right?
Right.
I wish
Yeah.
somebody had told me or was a bridge for me, like, girl, come and experience this. It's
Yeah.
gonna change the way you think, how you feel, how your body handles stress, so much. So I think that's number one for me. What's y'all's?
Oh wait, it's
Um,
hard to think. I'm trying to think of like, yeah.
That was
I
a
Hmm.
got
good
one.
one.
My biggest secret that I wish somebody would have told me, and maybe I wouldn't have even understood it, but I do now, and y'all do. The weight of America is way heavier than you are just brushing it off as. In America, it's heavy on you, but you just really don't understand how heavy it
Heavy.
is. It's two things when you feel how heavy it is. The first one is the first time off you. When you first go move abroad and you've been over there for a while and you're like, I'm not going back, you're like, boom, that weight, you're like, yo, this joint was heavy. But then the second time, and it may be the worst time, is when you do eventually have to go back. You got to go to a birthday party or you need to go get some out of your storage, and then you go back and put it back on after
Ooh.
having it off of you for so long.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that can prepare for you because everybody probably feels a little bit different, but you're going to feel what I'm talking about. And it's just like, even if somebody told me, I don't even know if I would have believed them in the weight and the
Yeah.
gravity that it actually has on you. And I'm like, that's why I'm like, you got to be ready for a transformation because it just doesn't allow you to go back to the old life that you lived in the way. Like you just can't.
That is a true freaking statement right there. I said that years ago. I said the one thing influencers is not telling people is once you leave, you're going to do whatever you got to do to never go back. And that's
Never ever.
scary in itself, right? Because you got like me. I haven't seen my mom in 4 years. And I'm just like, I don't want that on my body. Like coming in that airport, the air is thicker. Immediately the police is there. Immediately all of that
On the
trauma
jet
starts to
bridge.
it just starts to creep up on you. Somebody gets smart with you at the airport, which is weird. Like we don't go through that. Like nobody's it's a lot, y'all. That the
Yeah,
highway,
I
the
know.
traffic, the
It
food
is. It's heavy.
is
I'm just how
heavy.
expensive it
The
is.
food.
How
Honestly, that's
expensive
one of
it
the
is.
things. It's like
My
you're
friends
bracing
hate me
yourself, like,
when I
oh
go
my
back
God, I'm
home.
about to spend. That's literally one of the top things I hear people say is like, oh my God, I'm about to spend so much money when
So
I go
much
back
money.
home.
$75 for every lunch is like absolutely outrageous.
It's
And my friends, they
outrageous.
look at me like Chris Rock dad. When everybody hates Chris, like I'm the cheapest person ever. I'm walking around New Orleans on Bourbon Street, like, can you believe $2? I mean, $15 for two pieces of chicken.
You
I
know
said,
what I
brother,
could
can
get
you
for
believe?
$2 a
Do they
minute?
even pay y'all $15 an hour? You ain't
How
gonna
y'all
keep
can
it
afford
150,
this
brother.
shit?
I'm like, he like,
No,
nah, you right,
literally.
old head. I'm like, nah, man, this is my cousin
Hotel
homegirl.
rooms
She like, yo,
250.
chill out. That's you on Bourbon Street, and I'm like, I don't care if I'm on Canal Street. You're not paying two
Crazy.
two pieces
Well,
of
this is
chicken for
the thing.
$15.
I'm thinking about now. I don't know if I would rank this as one of the top things. Like if I would have been expecting somebody to tell me, but like something that I learned too is just we think like how, especially like the US propaganda machine works so well, right? So they have the world thinking that we're leading the way in all of these different things in health and all these things, right? And so because we see big organic food movements and all of these things, these healthy things, that get really popular.
Mm-hmm.
And really when you go abroad, like I call myself the market maven. I love going through the markets and just my experience of shopping. Actually, when I moved abroad, I was vegan. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking like, oh, is this about to be, difficult or whatever, or it's about to be so expensive. I found my way in Atlanta,
Yeah.
right? Like of surviving on a strictly vegan diet. But I got abroad and I'm like, I am paying pennies, literally pennies. I would shop at the farmers market in Atlanta and that was like the cheapest you will find a lot of times, right? But I am abroad, no, I have not. I don't care where I've been. It's not even having to choose between organic and stuff sometimes. Like,
That
it's
part.
like, duh, it's
That
growing here.
is
It's
growing
right
here.
Right.
there. Like, you can
It
pick
got
it
the
up.
roots on the
I've
Grown
back.
not to kill
always
you.
been places literally from Egypt picking dates, picking fresh dates off the tree, to being
Hmm.
in like, I don't care wherever I've lived. I've had access to fresh on my street here in Medellin. We have multiple mango trees
You
and
just pick
papaya
it
and all kind of stuff, right? And it's like this, it makes sense though, right? Like, I don't ever want to not be used to that again. And
again.
going to the States, and like my childhood, going back to like what we were talking about earlier, my childhood home, we grew fruits and stuff, right? Like, we had
Hmm.
like some oranges, maybe, I don't remember exactly, but I'm like, maybe some kumquats or something. I don't remember. But like, I remember I grew up with fruit
You got
trees,
them
and
in the hood.
my grandma had, some peppers and greens and stuff like that in the backyard, like those kind of things. And I'm like, it brings me even that type of like that good feeling, right? Of like kind of
Yes.
going back to our roots. And I'm like, it only makes sense. That's why I grow herbs and stuff like that in my home, and in my terrace and
Hmm.
everything. Like, those things are important to me. And just being able to have access to fresh, healthy foods, because the food you can eat cheaply when you go back to the States,
You
but
can't.
what you're gonna be but you can eat the bad stuff, right? Like, it's all fried, cheap, four for $2, or however much, two for $4,
And you
whatever the
sick
thing.
the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, you see also the trickery, because they want us to stay sick there, because they make more money off of us being sick. So it's like, I am glad. Nobody had to tell me that. It was something I figured out. But I'm
Hmm.
glad that I ran into this type of issue. Well, not an issue, but this thing of like realizing how good it is to live
How good it is, and
outside
how
of that
blessed
place.
we are. Right. And let me
You
let me ask y'all something. And somebody in the chat wants us to talk about dual citizenship, so we'll go to that
Okay.
next. But
Hmm.
don't you feel sometimes like you don't want to say nothing because it sounds like you bragging or something, and like nobody's gonna
Yeah.
believe what you actually are living? It is so hard to like, and
Yeah.
then I be smiling too much, and I'm like, I hope they don't think I'm faking. Like, I'm
Yeah.
fucking happy. Like, oh, I'm sorry,
Right.
RJ, but I am literally like a kid again. I'm giddy as hell. I
yo,
wake up
Yeah.
happy. Like, I don't, and I be,
Just going walking on the beach, put your feet in the water, like
and I
it's
ain't got to pay for it. I ain't got to pay
right,
$1,000 entry fee for the beach, or $200 for the cabana to sit down on the beach.
right,
It's like $4. So it's
right.
like, I'm sorry, but that dude, because I be scared to talk to people from back home sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I
But
don't
you know
want them
what
to.
they call that, survivor's remorse and things like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
look,
it's
and I do see more conversations, like people talking about, like, people ain't keeping it real. And there, like, honestly, there are more positive things. There are more pluses than minuses. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know
Yeah.
what you want me to tell you, but in the people that I realize that I notice are having these issues, that they go back or they get on social media talking about, oh, living here, all of these things. It's because, first of all, they haven't even adjusted their mindset to change, to be on to have different experiences in the first place. They're expecting to take home with them. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that everything there is so much better and more advanced.
It's
I
a
promise
prison.
you.
It's a trap.
I
Every
promise you.
consumer product they ever gave to us is a trap. I posted this the other day. The fastest you can get uncomfortable and comfortable being uncomfortable, you get to
Yes.
freedom. If you continue to hold on to those conveniences, you will forever be in a box and in prison. You will forever be in a box. I don't know if she left yet, y'all. Let's give her the information about dual citizenship. And I don't know what part she really wants us to talk about, but I
Okay.
get this question a lot. They say, "Can I have both passports? Can I have a visa in both places? Do I have to give up my citizenship in the United States if I come to Colombia?" And the answer is no, guys. The answer is no. You can have
First of
these.
all, the biggest reason why it's a no is because you can't just be like, all right, I'm out, y'all. Here go your passport. No, my man, you got to pay to not be an American citizen. It's it's not
Mm-hmm.
just like I quit y'all and we done. Here go.
Yeah.
Where do I send my passport? And there's an actual process that you have to go through. The same way that you can access embassies and things of that nature. You are taxed all around the world as a United States citizen. Now, there's a bunch of different. I'm not a tax person, but most people thinking that, oh well, I got a visa here. Does that mean I? Because people ask me that too, teacher. Yo, you're not a citizen no more, man. You really like a citizen of somewhere else? I'm like,
Yeah,
what
and
are you
look, but
talking
hold
about?
on. Why does
Like,
this
who told you
this
that?
feeds into, remember, RJ, then you asked the question last time, or you said somebody had the question of like, why are some people called expats and some are immigrants and stuff? First of all, majority of us are not getting citizenship. Like
Yeah.
getting residency to stay in a place is totally different. They're
Yeah.
not giving us their
Different than
passport,
citizenship.
right? You know,
And a lot of people not even getting
yeah,
residency.
right. You know what I mean? So it's like that's a total. So like to Tisha's point too, like doing your research. You know what I mean? Like one thing doesn't mean all of these other things. Like we're
Yeah.
not I have a local ID, but that comes with my residency, with the visa that I have here. But and then there are certain restrictions and stuff to those things, right? So everybody is not seeking permanent status in the countries that we're going to. Some
Mm-hmm.
people can do that. Now, on that topic, just segueing into that too with the dual citizenship, some countries, especially, some countries in West Africa are offering dual citizenship for a lot of us,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're proving our or showing that we have some type of proof of of lineage coming from
Let's take a look.
coming from enslavement and linking to these countries in West Africa. So that's something actually that I am seeking. I had always said that I would love to move to Ghana. It's one of my favorite places. I've been there like several times, and um it was actually the last country that I came from during before the lockdown of the pandemic. I was there
Mm-hmm.
and I just made it right back into Qatar, and then they closed the borders. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, anyway, I said that I would live there. Um, I don't know. I see a lot of people there are getting citizenship. I actually met a woman and her husband here in Medellin. I did their locks, and they had just gotten the dual citizenship in Ghana. Other places are opening up as well. But yeah, it's another process though, but now there are more conversations about it because people also see us trying to find another solution because
Sure.
we don't want to be there for real. Like we see through the trickery, and even if people want to have like one foot in, one foot out, because like how we talked about, you can still make your money. It would be a wise decision if you can set up business there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And make money, and that will be funding your lifestyle. People have real estate, for example, and then what they're getting from that, there is funding their life abroad. So it's
Mm-hmm.
different strategies and stuff that people can use for keeping one foot in and one foot out. But some of us don't want to be tied to it at all, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see that they got stuff on the I think it's in Congress or one of the judicial branches. They're talking about if you say something against United States, you could get your passport taken as a
Revoke.
citizen.
Uh-huh.
And normally I'm not one to be pushing like dual citizenships. Like you can if you know about it. Like you said, oh, I'd love to get a citizenship in Ghana because of all the times that I've been there. A lot of people are just hearing that Ghana is offering citizenship without anybody's travel or anybody's understanding about Ghanaian culture. They're just like, let me go get the citizenship. And normally I'm like, nah, that's not really a good idea. Now, considering things are always changing in the United States, it may be beneficial to get one if you can. Just knowing
Yes.
also where you're getting in bed with, what kind of things that you need to keep up wherever the case is, because it may just be paperwork, or it might be paperwork plus you need to do this every couple of months, or you need to
Correct.
stay there for a certain amount of time. So don't take these things, they're going to be nuanced down to where you're going, and it may be down to your situation. Just because we tell us
Mm-hmm.
what our situation is, it may not be your exact same. So I want to make sure that people definitely know that. You guys keep bringing up. I keep hearing the word like the pandemic and everything else. Like you went there to Ghana right before the pandemic, and then you happened to slide back in the. And when we were talking earlier, it was making me think about the pandemic because the feelings and the thought processes. I think we're trying to get people to understand that where they are. It's almost a feeling that I remember. The only time I ever really had it as an adult was during the pandemic, where it wasn't so much noise around. Like, I mean, you had the noise of the news but Friday night you couldn't go out and do anything. You was just in the house. Sad, like you were just in the house, and so many people
Yeah.
started looking back into themselves. I started gardening, growing my own food, painting different things that I'm like, I don't have the time to do. And it was like for that little bit of time that we had that moment, that's what we were talking about. When you're like, soon as it turned back on, the United States, it was just like throw the paint away, throw the tools away. You got to get right back into it. So I want people to kind of remember if you were privy enough to get that little bit of time for yourself during the pandemic, you see a lot more of that kind of time presenting itself naturally without having to be a global disaster when you're living abroad. And I think a lot of people that don't know what the feeling
That's
we're
true.
talking about, that's probably the closest that they're going to get if they had the opportunity to kind of remember who they were again, not be I'm stuck in traffic 5 hours a week just to get to a job that I hate. Like that's how the United States turned your life back on. I feel like when it's all going as Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday over and over.
Yes. Somebody asked in
What
the
you got
chat.
in your chat? Huh?
Somebody asked, do we get homesick? I ain't saying nothing because y'all already know my answer.
I miss a
I don't.
cheesesteak. I miss a cheesesteak every once in a while.
Well,
I
I
need
got a
some like
client about to
cheddar
do a chopped
cheese,
cheesesteak
like
here, so I can ship
specifically.
you one.
Okay.
I don't want no chopped cheesesteak. That's like a New York and a Philly thing. A chopped cheese and a cheesesteak, they on two different levels. A chopped cheesesteak, no. I'm gonna come rock with. I'm trying to get out the Santa Marta though. But seriously, a cheesesteak. I think matter of fact, I think the closest I can get to one in Medellin is Philly steaks.
Uh-huh.
So I get close to some things as a home, but not enough to go book a flight. As far as homesick, you got to come see me. Like I'm not spending a
Period.
bunch of money. I don't live in the United States, so going there is a
Period.
vacation that I don't want to take. If you think about it, it's like I got to spend hotel, car, like I'm going somewhere I want to be, and I'm like,
Everything.
Yeah.
my
One of
grandma
the
92.
things.
She told me not to come home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was thinking about when it comes to when we talked about having community abroad is kind of it's a way to prevent homesickness, right? Because if you're not around people that you will be familiar with or that are familiar with things that that you are now. I get it when people are from large families and it's a thing for them to be gathering with their families. Like I had a friend here who was like, with cousins and stuff, they still have slumber parties and, and stuff like that. So being in touch with their actual family is one thing. But, I've been used to it. Like even when I left LA at 18 like right after I turned 18 and I never moved back. So I even being on the opposite side of the country, going to Atlanta for school, for college, we got technology that has connected us. I talk to my family like we do video chats. You know what I mean? Like I see you, you see me.
FaceTime.
Hey, I'm here. I'm real. But
Yes.
like I that's not a good enough excuse for me. Now, of course, every now and then I love to go and put my hands, go get a warm hug from family members or something. But I'm like trying to get them to come to me sometimes too. You know what I
Correct.
mean? Get out of there and come see me. But as far as the homesickness, I think that you can prevent a lot of those things. Like again, if you are around familiar company. I just brought Tisha some collard greens,
And they
right?
cooked them today and they good, girl.
Listen, oh man. But yeah, like these is some things, I get that people might be missing, like some staples, some food things or some, familiar Like how we have parties, how we have gatherings. We're doing a holiday party. And so
Yes.
we'll have some of the food and the conversation, and it feels like family. Like every time, RJ, too, like even here, we'll have like a Friendsgiving, and it feels just like family. I'm the potato salad and sweet potato pie auntie. Okay.
I think I could say the only thing,
Okay.
I don't know, many people might not know I'm a stepmother. So my son is in private school in Atlanta. That is the only person that can get me to
Mhm.
come home. The only person. Okay. So that's probably the only thing I miss. But we so close to graduating. So I'm just like, I can't wait to travel the world with him. But to piggyback off what we said before, it takes too much on our bodies to come back there. And it's something you guys won't understand until you've left, not for like a week or 2 weeks, but once you've left, like we've been gone for years now. Like I knew after year one, I was like, oh, I can't put that on my body anymore. So when we would have to go get my son, I would only let my husband go. I was like, I just can't do it. It's a ick. And so I have to come home. I'm coming home in October and I'm going to stay till November because I'm doing it all at once. Like I'm taking care of everything at once. So you guys get prepared. But I am dreading it. Like that's how, like, you guys got to really understand, like, we dread coming home, and that is crazy, right? So I think once you get out, even if you're a loner, like I'm a Virgo, I love people, but if we're like elevating, I don't like stupidity. So I'm a loner. Like I like being in my house. I like relaxing. You want to hang out with me, come to me. So I think it's too being comfortable with yourself to know you can make it anywhere, right? So do that work on yourself, be comfortable in silence, be comfortable in elevating yourself and focusing on being better, and not so much like build your community, but that should be your focus when you move abroad,
Right.
right? Your focus should be making your life so freaking amazing and just tapping into that energy where you are and just getting better. I think that that is definitely one of the pluses of living abroad. But again, y'all, we dread that. I know I do. I'm dreading this trip. You got to remember, we got to pay for cars, hotels, the food, the Ubers, the friends. You got to go
Food
see
that you can't eat.
everybody. That's a lot of energy. And then you got to pour back into yourself to like raise yourself back up. So
Right.
I hate, sometimes I hate saying it because I don't want my son to think like, oh, you don't want to come home to see me. Oh, hell no, nigga. You are my all, my be all, right? So that I think that's I hope we answered that question
Yeah.
correctly, as well as the dual citizenship, guys. My goal this year in 26 is to get more access to all these countries. What if something happened in Colombia? You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to navigate and move around. Not saying that it is, but preparation should always be your focus, especially if you got a family, right?
Right. Right.
So make sure you guys are focusing on that.
Having a plan B.
Having a plan B and C and D.
Mhm.
Somebody
Yeah.
asked, how do we transfer money?
I mean, that's what
Go ahead,
Like
we doing to
RJ.
do.
They asked, what do we
You know,
use
so
to
what I was saying.
transfer money?
like how? Like to yourself or
Like,
back
how do
home
we?
or what?
I don't know. I think people get here and think like there's no ATMs. Like you can't just go and put your card
Yeah, we
in
have
and
banks. Yeah, we have
pull out
banks. We have
pesos.
ATMs. There's
Um,
MoneyGram. There's Western Union. Like we have those types of services too. Those things are global. These
yeah.
are international.
I use Remitly a lot. It's like, I think
Yeah.
it's like an international cash app, so the money is instant. So there's many things you can utilize. Once you get over here, of course you want,
MoneyGram.
yeah,
No,
MoneyGram. So we can't hear you, RJ. One more time.
can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now, yeah, that's the question that comes up all the time. Like, is it over here? How do you think we go? Not everywhere though. We're speaking of Colombia. So if you it's not wise, then you
Mm.
need to take a look at that. look at places that are on
Um,
Okay. I was wondering. I was like, I didn't really hear him, so I didn't know if he did too.
so
But yeah, we
this
got
time
all of these services too. And a
this
lot of places like it has been a lot more advanced too. While we have like these automatic money transfer systems, some
yeah.
places have had them and they're simple. They're like literally with somebody's number you can transfer, you know what I mean? Somebody's phone number, and it's so simple. Yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely have those
I think this is like
systems.
the number one question. I think we get this a whole lot. I think it's a good topic for us to talk about. The question is, how do you make money? What income streams can they explore to move abroad if they're not fully remote yet?
it's
Y'all go first. That's
I
a good
mean,
question.
it is a good question, but it's like, okay, because even me living abroad for 13 years now, these I still look at different opportunities, right? Like I just have all since I was a child, I like making money, you know what I mean? So it's like you look for multiple streams of income for sure, but it's like what are you good at? Like, have you done a discovery to figure out like what is something like Tisha, you spoke a lot to this last time about when you move abroad, you're not looking to go take a job from a local.
Yeah.
That's not what you're doing. You're not going to have the passport, the citizenship status to even do that. So, first of all, don't go
Hmm.
with the mindset of going to get a job like at a drugstore or at a grocery store or at a restaurant. Like most other times, it's not going to happen, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of opportunity to create some type of business for yourself. Now, like
Hmm.
I said, and like I think we agreed, is that if you have the opportunity to make money back home, right? You have plenty of opportunities. People do drop shipping. People set up an online boutique. People set up, all of these different things that, especially, it's a lot of information about right now, how to quickly get into those things. So if you want to dedicate your time to that, if you don't have a remote job that allows you to make your money elsewhere, like I would look into planning that, like looking at multiple things, not just one. Some people do it by like, like I said, like they might be renting their home out or they buy real estate to rent out, they have rental properties and stuff like that. But I get it. It's like, well, what if I don't have a house? What if I can't? That's on you to figure out, like what are you good at? What can you do? What can but I also find opportunity in making money while I'm wherever I am. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like me having certain skills. When I go abroad, I'm always able to do something.
Yes.
I know how to make stuff. I know how to do things. I know how to, you know what I mean? Like, so I figure it out. But what I do, everybody else might not be um able or willing to do.
Hmm. What you got, RJ?
Can't hear you. He said sell some feet pictures.
I would say, guys, look inward, right? This is your opportunity to look inward. We've lost the fact that we were supposed to be here to create and not be workers. So I would say, what are you good at? What do you know knowledge about? Find a way to make money off of that, whether it's digital guides, whether it's YouTube how-to videos, whether I mean, at this point, if you asked me 5 years ago, I'd be like, girl, I'm not going on no social media. Like, I'm not doing that. I ain't selling no knock. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? But now I
Yeah.
really truly believe everything is gonna be digital and you're gonna be getting paid to be you, to
Yes.
truly show up as you. So I would say figure out what you're knowledgeable at and find a way to monetize that. So
Yeah.
what I mean by that, like if you know how to braid hair, start doing going live braiding hair. Teach, record yourself doing tutorials braiding hair. Like there are
Yeah.
so many people with mixed kids, people with that don't know how to do these things. If you know how to build houses, shoot, do different things, figure out what you know how to do and start there and it will grow. And right now with AI out here, I don't want to hear none of that.
I'm
I
telling
don't want
you,
to.
get you an
I don't
assistant,
want to
get
hear
you
you
a
can't
digital
figure out nothing,
assistant.
baby, because I can go on AI every day and open up a business. Okay, so
here's Here's what I would tell. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Let's go. All right. So look, here's what I would tell somebody that is actually looking to move abroad and they're like, I don't know where to start. If
Uh-huh.
you do not have any computer skills, so think about how many people that have not touched a computer since they left college and they have not gone into Word, Office, none of that. You need to at least brush up on that because whether you become your own business person, you start creating digital books or anything, you're going to need to be able in 2025 to move around a computer.
Yeah.
Now, the honest truth is, the remote work job thing is lowering the amount of remote work jobs. They're not as many anymore. More people are becoming to be required back home.
Yeah.
However, I challenge people with something that you guys both know. You know that the thought process is, oh, I need $100,000 to make it in the United States just to, at this point, almost be feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
So you may be looking at remote jobs and saying, well, if it's not $100,000, how will I ever live the life that they're discussing if I don't have that coming in? Now, this will come down to where you're going, but I will tell you that the United States is definitely a lot less, and what you could get by on 40 to 50 thousand dollars could almost afford you the exact same lifestyle that you'd be scraping by at $100,000. So you may
Seriously.
need to look at, when you're looking at remote job and remote, what can I do for work, what they pay, because the visa in Colombia, they want $1,000 a month, twelve
That's
thousand
it.
dollars a year anywhere in the United States is going to leave you on the streets.
Twelve
Whereas
thousand.
if
That's
you
$12,000 a year.
a
That's
year,
not a lot.
that's how
Yeah.
much you would need to prove that you make. So, not saying that you want to live the $1,000 a month lifestyle in Colombia or anywhere, but also take that in consideration with what you may be able or looking to do when looking at remote work.
Yeah.
It takes a lot less to be able to provide for you. So, if you're getting into ebooks, your ebook is $27. You need to sell X amount of ebooks per day in order to make whatever lifestyle you want. I mean, it's a different life. Everybody here is a business owner, so we know what kind of things you have to do to show up for you, your business, and everything else. And not everybody wants that accountability. But for the
Correct.
people that are in the job market, I just tell them that yes, you may need 100,000 or 75,000 or all of these tens of thousands, but you may not need that. You need to just go with
Abroad.
USD
You.
or Euro
Yeah.
remote work, and you will
Right.
probably be fine doing a data entry job, to be
Data entry,
Right.
yes. Or
Yeah.
a chat bot.
well chat or something. Like, you'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah. You know what I think? I've been having these ideas. Now, somebody gonna have to just go on and do it. But like people, we need to start collaborating more, right? Like so some of us don't have all of the skills or all of
Mhm.
the pieces, right? But if we think back to community, going back to this word, think to community, think of people. It don't have to be your exact family members or whatever, just people that you connect with, people that you meet, start networking and figuring out like other people's skills. Get somebody that has skills that you don't have. Maybe you're an ideas person, but you're not the logistics, you're not the execution person. Maybe you're the
Mhm.
execution person, maybe you're very organized and you know how to keep books and you know how to da da da, but you don't have the idea, the creative ideas, right? So if you're not going to do it on your own, some people also want a type of business that requires some type of presence, but you don't want to be in front of the camera. Everybody don't want to be an influencer, right? Everybody don't want
Mhm.
to be in a camera talking to people.
Mhm.
That's fine too, but you can partner, you can collaborate with other people. And
Be
I
the
think if we
podcast
do
producer.
things like that, you know what I mean? Like if we think of combining our skills and
I
talents
love
and stuff
that.
like that, I would love to see more of us do that. Like I love a collaboration. I love working with other people and we see what our weaknesses and strengths are. And it's like we can help bounce things off of each other and grow together. I really
Yes.
wish instead of feeling like you have to do it all alone because you don't.
I mean, we here doing the exact same thing that you just described. Now,
Yeah.
we don't make any money off of this, and
Yeah.
but Lord willing, y'all keep sharing it with the people that need to hear it.
Right.
This could be, what it is that we do. I mean, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that that's what we're here for, but you'd be surprised when you in a room with like-minded people. And one of the things that I miss, as far as something that used to go on for the community, you wouldn't say that you used to invite everybody. But
Mm.
Mr. Lay used to be like, "Yo, we going to this restaurant." I'm like, "I've never heard it." And like, send me the Instagram, and then I'm like, and Jazz is always like, "I don't even care. I already know
Right.
it's gonna be good." Just, but like those things, it's like what you can bring to the community is you is
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
and what you and who you really are, not the ego, like how people have, and Tisha be always talking about with people's ego. Yeah, if you, especially coming from Atlanta, y'all all know
Yeah.
about Atlanta. You left Atlanta, we went to school in Atlanta. You go
Yeah.
into some spots and it's like, well, what's your name and what do you do for work? And then
Yeah.
that's your badge of who you are and whether or not you should be in the room, or it's a who's
Hmm.
who. So you're looking at everybody and you're trying to figure out, well, and it's just like things don't have to be this way.
Yeah.
Yes, hard work matters and different things of that nature, but you getting down to the core of people, and I realize that that means so much more to me. That's why I can't go back to my old life,
Yeah.
because I'm ashamed of what I was actually pouring so
Mhm.
much time and energy in. Yeah, that's the truth. I was
Oh
ashamed.
my
I
God.
spent so much money, dog. Like the amount of money that I spend on a monthly basis was absolutely like
Yeah.
Insanity.
Look, let me
the
tell you,
the
hold on, because this reminds me of just like just what you were speaking to. We kind of keep up, we feel a pressure to keep up with the Joneses when we're back, because that's the kind of culture and stuff, and that people see, especially like when people point it out, since I've been abroad, sometimes I'm not up on I'm not watching all the the trash TV and stuff like that. Sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, because some people like indulging in some of the things, but I'm like, I don't know what everybody is doing and what they talking about, right, all the time. I'm not, especially if I'm not into those things. But
Hmm.
we acquire a lot of things. We feel like we have to keep up. We got to buy this, we got to wear this, we got to go here to eat, we got to be on these lists and things like that. We got to be seen in certain spaces. And it's like, look, I have a funny situation of like when I first moved abroad, my first time moving abroad was in Ethiopia, right? And I would go to the clubs there. Like I'm not a clubber, but I would be out partying and stuff occasionally. I have friends there, local friends there. And so they'd take me out. And just the mentality of like what I'm gonna wear to the club, right? I remember my club Miami days in Atlanta. I remember,
Hmm.
and we have like
the
it's
Cool
like
Palace.
it's a dress thing. And really, honestly, when you think about it, it's like everybody wearing the same thing. You might have the
Hmm.
same outfit, different colors, different whatever.
The button
And
up
the
area.
funny thing is that when I started traveling and I would be out in some of these spaces, like going to a party, these people don't care what they like. You look cute, you want to feel like cute or whatever, but you got on dirty sneakers. Ain't nobody sitting up there
Yes.
like I'm like I will see these girls and they got on like dirty Air Force Ones or dirty whatever or some sand, and I'm like, we up here first of all
Doing too much. Feet
uncomfortable as
hurt,
I don't know
feet
what.
hurt, and all of that.
Feet hurting, you cold, you like it don't make sense.
It don't make sense.
You didn't went and bought a new outfit or a new pair of shoes. Don't nobody care about that stuff really when you move abroad. Like, don't nobody care. I don't care. You go
Mm.
around people with all kind of money, all kind of status, all kind of whatever. We are not like they are fooling you in the States. Like they
Yes.
are fooling you.
To be a consumer. That was one of the things that
Yes.
happened to me once I got here. I was like you, RJ. Okay, I was in Atlanta, right? We popping. We gotta have the best cars. We gotta have we in
Yeah.
the best places. I cannot go to the club unless I'm in the VIP. All of
Ain't
that
no reason to
Right.
go.
is ain't all of that is insanity. It's
It's
insanity.
the
And I
gym
went through a
house.
little bit of depression when I first got here because I was like, damn, how did you
It's so
fall
much.
for that?
I spent
Yeah.
How
so
did
much money.
you how did they play you like that? You're highly intelligent, right? How did you do that for so long, right? And then it's like something I don't care. I would never like you ain't gonna catch me in no Gucci. You ain't gonna catch me in none of them places. I want, natural linens now. Anyway, I don't even want that type of fabric on my body.
Natural linens.
So
That sounds like
so
I'm getting
it's
all
Gaddafi.
these brands all over me. Like that's like because really, you what you see is a lot of times it feels like it's insecurities being covered up. I because
correct.
literally you will see people with the same outfit that the mannequin got on. Like you're
Yeah.
looking at so and so, you know what I mean, to be influenced by like on what to wear. Is it even your fashion? Like really start asking yourself these things to start removing these layers, right? Like is are you really even into that? Do you even
Yeah.
like this kind of food? Do you even like these
And
people that you're
it's
with?
a
Like,
hard life to upkeep, right? It's so many
yes,
things you end up going and doing things you should not fucking freaking be doing, that you should not be doing to keep up with that lifestyle. And so you
yeah,
internally hating yourself anyway. So if I could say that to most women, guys, get out of that. Like, I'm not telling nobody how to spend their money, but it's a
yeah,
trap. It's a trap. And real wealthy people be having on some white sneakers. They might have on a nice watch, and that is it. And they laugh at us when we wear those clothing. They laugh at it like, "What the hell?" It's like a joke. And so it's the only America think it's a good thing, right? So once you really, really start traveling, you be like, nobody's dressing like that. They look nice. They got on the nice outfit. They look good, but they not dressing head to toe in no Balenciaga. They're not doing that, right? And so I think that was a
exactly.
big thing. Another question in the chat was, what's some of the things we gave away when we moved abroad that we stopped doing? I think that could being consumer. Um,
Hmm.
what's some major things that we gave away when we moved abroad?
I know what you gave away, and
Right.
all of us did it because of where we moved to. But we gave away like trying to drive to everywhere. Like I'll just walk
Yes.
everywhere. Like I used to be like, bruh, where? How long we going? I'm like now it's just like that's how we get around. I don't have a
I
car.
didn't
I
like
don't want a
driving anyway, to
car.
be honest.
I
I
hate
didn't like
driving
driving
now. I
anyway.
absolutely hate it. Don't make me drive. I don't want to. I got into a
Yeah.
car in the airport with my sister, and she was going like 70 miles an hour. We were in Orlando. She going like 70 miles an hour, and I'm in the front seat like I realized I hadn't been in the car going that fast in like almost like
Uh-huh.
half a year. And I'm like, yo, we are really moving in this car. And I'm like, nah, 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 nah. You know what? I'm good. And I didn't realize that, yeah, don't put me behind the wheel. I hate it.
Yeah. That over consumerism for me, like I don't shop. I was a shopaholic back home. I had a freaking problem, and I can admit that. I don't do any of that anymore. I think also for me was I was healthy back home. I was doing the vegan thing. I was, sourcing a lot of my stuff. But right now I'm unapologetically like really trying to heal myself and not eat bad and not fall to temptations. I think that's a lot of that. Other things, I gave up frivolous relationships that didn't give me joy, right? Saying
Fighting every
yes,
day.
saying yes to every freaking thing. And if I didn't want to go, I don't. I think that was one. Of course, the
Mm.
walking. But yeah, how about you? How about you guys? That was a good question. We lost you,
What you
RJ.
got?
No, that question, that was a good one. Things we
Nah,
gave up.
I'm trying to think. I thought Michelle was about to say something.
Uh huh.
Um, yeah, I
Well,
struggle. I'll be honest
mm,
with y'all because I think painting a picture of perfection is always. I am aware of more of my flaws living abroad, even though I may still go through them. But I'm a little bit more aware of them, which leads me to be more intentional about my days. I
Yeah.
started something before I even left, which is something my dad told me. It was like I don't start my day without knowing what it is that I'm going to do. And the only way I
Mhm.
do that is I essentially write everything that I need to get done the next day at the end of my day. And I did
Yeah.
that before I got here, but I'm like even more intentional about as doing as much as I can to actually get these things done and moving with more intention because I'm like, I need to put me on this to do list. In the United States, it was just all these things I need to do. But now it's more
Mm.
like, I need to wake up, meditate, eat, work out, swim. Like these are all things that need to go in my day before all of the rest of these things can be even done. And
Yes.
getting back into nature and all of those things are more in my intention on a daily basis, which I had this intention before, but it was just being like only productivity. And I was
Mhm.
missing that. I have to be the punter to run a machine. But
Right.
if I'm off because I don't take care of myself, I'm just worried about what I gotta consume and having enough money to buy new shirts. It just so that is really thing I've been able to wrap my head around a lot more about the intention
Yeah.
of it all and one day at a time with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was beautiful.
I love that.
Yes.
I saw one of the best recently. I got to brag on my friend again, but
Ooh.
being around Tisha, you, but like,
The Drake album.
learning that, Tisha she's a boss. Okay. She is a queen who, listen, she keeps her queendom in order. Okay. She has a team. And one of the things, that I learned being with her this weekend, like she has her team, the people working closest to her, making sure that they're also taking care of themselves, that they go
Period.
to the gym. They
Hmm.
went in, like they go and work out with her. Like, no,
Yes.
we're all, if you care about yourself, then you care about,
What we
you
doing?
can't care
The
about nobody else
business.
or nothing else around you, about your business, about, all of these things if you're not prioritizing your health. So I love that, even hearing that from you, RJ, of prioritizing yourself first thing in the morning. Like, if I
Yes.
don't have this in order, what
I
else is
can't
going
be
to go
nothing to
right?
nobody, bro.
You can't. And
Yeah.
then the food matters. Like I eat with my team every single day. And people are like, oh, well, that's costly. It doesn't matter, man. These people are running your business. So you want their mind right. You want them to understand what it's like to eat healthy. Colombia eats a lot of fried foods.
Yes.
Bro, the vegetable situation, you got to put them Jones on there intentionally.
Yes.
You be like, bro, you got no veggies, all this green around here.
So if I'm not elevating and they're not elevating, I'm doing them a disservice. And thank you for noticing that, Michelle A. But I think it's really,
It's
really
beautiful.
important. Um, I think it helps your mind. It helps one, you learn dedication to yourself, you learn discipline. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I have a great team. I have been blessed to build with the people I have, and I'll go to bat for them, period. Period.
That's a
Yes.
listen. That's a course in the making. First of all, of you teaching people how to. We encouraging people to start businesses and to work for themselves, and and build empires and stuff for
Yes.
themselves and be self
It's
sustained.
coming.
Listen, because you do it, like I'm like, I don't meet many people like you, but just to see it and be so close to it, I feel privileged.
You are,
So.
we are, and I'm privileged for you, sis. Like you show me so many things, like just
Mhm.
your mindset, like your ability to do everything. Look, we ain't gonna gush on each other, but shut up, RJ.
Okay,
We love
right,
you too,
right, right.
RJ. RJ, I don't
Yeah,
know none of this
y'all
technical
having a
stuff
good time.
without you. I don't know. I don't know
And
none of this
RJ, like, talk seriously, RJ, the way that RJ, oh my God, me and RJ have collaborated on plenty of things, already. And literally, I love, like, all of us here are like movers and shakers. It's like we have an
period.
idea, we ain't got to sit on it forever. It's like, let's execute it,
Let's
which is
execute.
also, I think a lot of people would also find that type of energy once they step outside of their, comfort zone,
Correct.
outside of their environment, because maybe you don't know the people like that. But once you step out and you have those intentions, you're gonna run into these type of people as well. Like
Yeah.
we are just some
All on the
lucky
same
folks,
crazy journey.
lucky blessed, all of these things.
We really
So,
are. I think that all the time. Like when I meet somebody new, I'm like, okay, they must was really a good person because I know I'm pure and good, and I just want everybody to win, and we have a great time. So I'm like, when they meet me, I'm like, okay, they've done some kind of work. They've done. Ah, we lost RJ, and we. I want to go to this last question before we disconnect.
Okay.
And this is a hot topic. I haven't researched a lot of it, but the digital nomad visa with the biometrics coming out and how you have to just give up your retinas and the new passports, and you might not be able to fly if you don't do the biometrics. I have been seeing the articles. I haven't researched a lot of it. I don't know, RJ. I'm sure you know more about this than me. But it right at this moment,
I
if you guys
mean,
are asking, is it affecting us? Not at the moment, right? Our passports are still fine. I would know when I fly out next month. But what have you guys heard about this biometrics before boarding?
I mean,
And you,
you seen it. You might have went through it already. They do a scan of you when you get on your plane. Like when you instead of like
oh, when you
when you
like
go
this.
on. No, 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 no. That's security. Like when you go and you go to instead of like when you boarding and instead of them taking your boarding pass, they make you stand on a circle and then they like, oh come on, teacher. You're like, how you know my name? That's the biometric thing.
Oh, I've never
Now,
seen that. I must be waiting.
Ooh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing I will tell people that get people hemmed up, because I got hemmed up in July coming through Mexico. So depending on where you're going and how busy it is, you may run into a scenario where they may prompt you to go through an e-gate instead of at an agent. So that's going to give you two things. One, most people are used to getting a passport stamp. You don't get no passport stamp if you go to an e-gate. But what you
wow.
also don't know is if they don't have a person that is there like instructing you on the process, you are supposed to get a piece of paper like a receipt and keep that receipt until it's time for you to leave. If you do not keep that receipt, you don't know that the receipt exists and you just walk out, your ass gonna owe the government some money because that I ran into that. I'm like, I don't need. What do you mean a receipt? I went through the gate. So a lot of people, depending on where you're going, these things are consistently changing. I can only tell you that was in Cancun's airport. I haven't really seen a lot of that in Medellin's airport. But I will tell my American brothers and sisters this: the more America makes it difficult for people to get in and out, to get visas, whatever you want to call it, reciprocity will come right at our doorstep.
Yes.
So places that are visa free access doesn't cost you any money. If they start charging their citizens, you can easily see America being put in a position where Americans that we are
Will be
going to be
discharged.
charged. Colombia
Yeah.
it does not
Absolutely.
charge us right now. But for
Mhm.
Canadians coming into Colombia,
They have
it
to pay.
costs money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So these things are always good to keep your eyeballs on because the Nomad visa, they didn't used to want an FBI background check. They didn't used to want your fingerprints. It didn't used to cost double amounts because you have to
Yes.
get double the amount of documents apostilled and translated.
Yes.
So if you
Y'all,
think,
please start putting, get a piggy bank, okay? Go old
Yes.
school, get a jar, get a something, okay? And start saving some coins. I don't want to hear no more excuses of why people
glad you
can't
being
get a
here, bro.
passport.
Hmm.
You got to get a passport. Like before you can't. You know what I mean? Because I
Yes.
do
That
see
part.
things changing. We just saw like what was that in New York or something? They talking about revoking passports, or restricting
Yep.
travel and stuff like that. For
Talking that
certain.
smack up on the internet about the
That's what I'm
government, they're gonna
saying.
come
Yeah,
take your
talking
passport. They're gonna
because that
define
it's a real
it.
thing in other places, so people are not seeing it because it
Yeah,
hasn't been like a US thing. That that's a real thing. Like people do are restricted from travel, and you think it won't happen to you. Like,
Wow.
it's already certain people, isn't it? What, like convicts or people that owe so much on child support and something like that can't get one.
can't even get a
It's like,
passport.
so it's like if you are
They
able
put you on the
to,
list.
please figure out a way to get a passport sooner than later, because don't ever
Tomorrow.
think that anything is impossible. We see how things are changing so rapidly right now. Please
Hmm.
just don't get in a situation where you're not able to leave, even if you're not planning
Yeah.
on
The
permanently
things
leaving.
that people were saying is impossible. The things people were saying were impossible, Michelle, are now the
It's
things
on
that
our
are walking down the
doorstep.
street. 6 months
Hmm.
ago, January, I had folks that were saying the only way that I'm going to think about leaving the United States if they got the military on the citizens on the streets of America and they about to declare martial law. And at the time, I
Hmm.
said, well, if they declare martial law, you think that you're going to be the only one that's going to be looking to run and go to the airport. But the thought process that the military would be on the streets seemed extremely far fetched. Like, why would the
Hmm.
military be on city streets? Like, this is America. We can do this. we haven't even finished the year,
Yeah.
and there's a couple of more months left. So I tell people to make certain that you got your passport, and this guy, once you get it, it's good for 10 years. But you better off having it and getting the options to take some of these things on. Go if also
Hmm.
we talked about this the other day, but I think people need to hear it again. If you have time on your passport, but you don't have enough pages on your passport, then you don't have a passport that is actively going to work for you. I repeat that. You need enough pages for them to stamp somewhere. So if you are running out of pages, and that passport can be invalid. If your dog bites your passport and bites a hole into it, you put it into the daggone wash machine. You think that it's cute to bedazzle your
Yeah, don't
passport.
bedazzle
All of these
your
things
passport.
damage your passport. Do not bedazzle those passports. Do I work remotely? No, I'm not retired. I do work remotely. Thank you. I don't think I look old enough to be retired. I'm still a worker out here every day. Gray hairs on the side, but yeah, do not bedazzle your passport. You also need at least 6 months of validity to travel to most places. After my best recommendation is, if it is under a year, just go get a new one. You had it for 10
Go
whole
get it.
years, so you went
Yeah.
9 years. Just go get a new one, because a year you just don't know what is on the horizon, and it's better just to have the long term. That's my take on the passport
And
situation.
always
Yeah,
remember, something
is
happens in
it one?
November. Something always happen in November, y'all. So brace yourself for that. But guys, this was a good
Well, the
live. It
rapture was supposed to
was
happen today, and we are still here. Y'all know the rapture was supposed to happen today, right?
no.
Huh?
Oh, see, y'all,
Uh-uh.
I be on the part of the internet that the crazy folks
Yeah,
be
I
on.
don't know
Apparently,
about
yeah,
that.
it was some crazy people that said that the rapture. Go look it up. I ain't make this up. That the
What?
rapture was supposed to happen today. I swear to you, all my life, they were like, "Yeah, the rapture is on Tuesday the 23rd." And if you
I'll
are
just
watching
be on
this,
the black
you
net.
did not get selected. I'm trying to tell you, as soon as you get off, go look it up. The rapture was supposed to happen today. You're gonna be like CNN. So I'm like, it's legit people that was sitting there talking about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, the rapture is supposed to happen today. So you don't have the rapture that took you out of here. You're still here on Earth. Some
Yes.
teacher talking about something. November is right around the corner.
Right around
All
the
I tell
corner.
people is, you have said it before. Every year, passports, visa costs, they go up just because what people in America aren't realizing that is Colombian minimum wage goes up. The cost of the
Yeah.
visas is based off of the Colombian minimum wage. So in third
Correct.
world countries where you haven't seen the federal minimum wage go up in X amount of years, 25 years, it goes up every year, which is why
Hmm.
visa costs are increasing. And the moment that orange president keeps pushing people's buttons, because I keep seeing foreign ministers in places that we're going, Colombia, Mexico, Panama, their government is saying things specifically to our government about things that they're doing. So I keep my eyes on all of these things so that we can
Hmm.
help inform the people that come to these conversations, because it's ever changing. And
Yeah.
2026 is literally two and a
Around the
half months
corner.
away.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so
don't nobody get shocked when y'all reach out to us and ask why the passport fee done went up. It's increasing. It's gonna increase no matter what. And we also are bracing ourselves to see what's gonna be the new requirements. Okay. So if you can get it now, do it now because it will change, right? It will change. And yeah, I have to renew this year. So I'll be getting my citizenship, well, my residency or whatever you want to call it, after this renewal. So I have to do different things now. So I'm just like, "Ugh." So it's all for all of
the
us. But
student
yeah,
visa.
yeah.
I need to get my Spanish classes on. My Spanish work real good out here in Mexico for the time being. I want y'all
Really?
to know that.
I
The
love it.
Chalet,
Wow.
yo, so Mexican Spanish is a lot more like clearer than Colombian
Uh-huh.
Spanish, and
Uh-huh.
Colombian Spanish is so expressive.
Yeah.
Like people will be damn near telling you like they love you, like you know
It's
what I mean. Whereas
intense,
in Mexico,
very
like
intense.
people aren't. very intentful. Whereas in Mexico, you even like hola, like como está, people aren't even saying like too much of the como está, like sitting there for that much. Like they just like yo, what's up, like keep it moving. Whereas
Right,
in
right.
Colombia, everything is like when you get thanked by somebody, oh my gosh, God loves you. Thank you so
Blessings
much.
to
Your
your
mother, thank
parents,
her.
Como le
your
va,
Blessings
like
to your
all of
grandparents.
that.
entire family for raising a beautiful daughter. Like you be like, bro, you really appreciate this. So yes, it's a lot easier. And the funny part for me is in Colombia, unless I'm intentfully listening, and I'm like, okay, I can hear it. But here, it's like, yo, I got to turn my ears off because I feel like I'm just eavesdropping on everybody's Spanish conversation because I'm like,
Oh, wow.
which is good for my
Mhm.
brain and the Spanish intense. So yeah, we all trying to get the Michelin levels on the
I
Spanish
love
for
it.
certain.
I just
But
actually today I just started a level 2 of a Spanish program that I'm doing. So
Mhm.
look,
I'm
and
gonna
it
do
is
it
not
next year.
Duolingo.
2026, I'm gonna work on it.
Yo, guys,
yeah, I
just so
look.
y'all
We'll
know
be
that.
practicing. I'll make sure
Just so y'all
I'll
know
speak
that.
to you more in Spanish.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
You
guys.
gotta
It's
get out and
one
talk to the
thing.
folks. Nah, thank y'all always, always, always. Thank y'all for bearing with me and my internet connectivity. It was obviously always going to be one of us. So if anybody had it be me. But I'm glad y'all was able to continue the conversation. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is Roots and
Yes,
Routes podcast. It is available. All of our episodes. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Apple Podcasts. You can go to Spotify. You can listen at any time that you want. You guys can also go to moodtravelabroad.com. The new site is available and up. And what you will find there is a myriad of things. One, you'll get free resources on relocation. So the guys that are on Santa Marta, Colombia, Medellin, Cartagena, as well as new locations and destinations that we've added, which include Panama, Mexico,
hmm
and South Africa. As well as the 22nd of November, we will be having our live virtual conference. This is going to take the three people that you see, as well as an entire panel of guests that are going to be talking to you about not only those destinations, but also how you can get into volunteerism, how you can get your student loans repaid by moving abroad, how you can actually build wealth by moving abroad. I know Tisha talked about helping kids that are moving abroad get adapted. We've got all of
hmm
these resources and more actually coming to you on this virtual relocation conference. So as always, I'm excited to see you guys and want you to go there. We will be back. New time,
Next week.
Tuesdays, 5:30. I'm going to call it 6:30 EST. That way, once Central Time changes and we go to Eastern Time, we're just always on 6:30 Eastern Time. So 6:30 Eastern Time, be here. Make sure you guys
Okay.
are sharing and subscribing so you get the notification that this is coming on. Jump in our DMs, any one of us. Let us know what y'all want to hear about moving abroad,
Yes.
about a particular topic,
And we
about
all
something you want us to weigh in on. Just
Yeah, and we all got
go
interesting
for it.
stuff going on. We have all types of things that we do wherever we are. I want to plug in real quick. I'm doing a beautiful program in Santa Marta where Tisha is, where I'm teaching me and a friend of mine, another expat. And we created a program, beautiful program for teenage girls. And we are working with celebrity hairstylist Felicia Leatherwood, and we'll be doing this
Yes.
beautiful program free to the girls. But we are fundraising for this program. So you can follow me. You can look at my page for more information on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. She does so much. So definitely follow her. Follow RJ. Follow Roots and Routes. Follow me, and you'll definitely understand why we are the way we are when we get on this call. But great questions tonight, everybody. Great questions.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. I have some here that I'll add to our sheet for next week. And yeah, see you guys next Tuesday.
Can y'all do one thing before because some people may not be able to see this and they may be listening? Can you say,
Okay.
Michelle, what your username is so they can go follow you there?
Mishmash_world, MICHMOSH _world and that's on Instagram. And yeah.
And I think I'm
Senora
Rotisha's
Tiffany.
world everywhere, guys. It's the Virgo in me. The world is mine. Rotitia's world everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of it. Definitely follow me there.
And I am RJ
You
Mood.
are
As
Jay.
always, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, once you get to RJ
Ciao,
Foods, you can
guys.
find anything that it is that we have going on. Y'all stay safe and be safe in America. I will talk to y'all soon. Appreciate it.
See you next week. Ciao.
Ciao.